Hello and welcome to your daily crypto news. So today we're going to be looking at some Korean FUD, other news stories, some altcoin news, and also the markets. So before we go any further, go ahead and click the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Make sure you do. Right now we're running a contest, a giveaway if you will. So we're going to be giving away the equivalent of $100 in Ethereum on May 21st. For every video that you comment on between May 12th and May 20th, we'll get you one entry. You have to be a subscriber to the channel to win. So let's jump into the markets. Right now, as you can see, Bitcoin is down. Consensus has started. We thought that surely today things would be on the upswing, but they currently are not. And we're going to look at maybe why here in just a second. As you see, pretty much everything in the top 10 are losers other than Ethereum and Ripple. A lot of losers today. As far as winners go, Ken is up. Bitcoin, I'd suggest staying away from Bitcoin, not financial advice. ARK is up. We'll talk about ARK here in a little bit. Polymath is up. Security tokens, a security token launching platform is what Polymath is. And I'm thinking about doing a video on those soon because I do believe that security tokens are going to be huge. So we do have some winners. We have some winners up in double-digit gains. Losers, we've only got one in double-digit losers, which is Wakey Chain, which is a correction from the spike it had yesterday. Centrality, Zilliqa, Mithril, Substratum, Skycoin, Funfair. Those are all losers for the day. For the most part, most stuff is, in between 1% and 5% losers, but we do have some that top that number. So let's look at what the FUD is going on. So South Korea's top financial watchdog joins probe into cryptocurrency exchanges. This stems from the raid on Upbit that occurred last week, which is Korea's biggest cryptocurrency exchange. And so because of that raid, it seems like it really spooked a lot of people in Korea. And now you've got a top financial watchdog, which is the Financial Services Commission, the FSC, which just shows that Korea is not really playing games with this. And so they're going to be looking into exchanges, it says here in this article. But of course, we know they're probably primarily going to focus on Upbit as they were just rated, and they're the biggest one. So that is probably where the FUD is coming from. But hopefully consensus will be enough to override this, as it really is getting kicked off in full force today. So Morgan Stanley says banks could use cryptocurrencies to mitigate financial crises. And basically what they're saying is summed up right here in this paragraph. It says, a report released by a team of researchers at Morgan Stanley revealed that Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies could help central banks to cut interest rates, which would help reduce the impact of any financial crisis in the future. During the last global financial crisis of 2007-2008, banks imposed lower interest rates as a way of protecting lenders and consumers from the harsh effect of the crisis. The crisis was so severe that some central banks had to implement negative rates. So basically, cryptocurrency will be able to help the banks with the interest rates. And the question is why? Well, because it costs a lot less money to transfer money. It costs a lot less for transactions. So that is a way they could help. But not all of the banks are agreeing with this. In particular, the head of Germany's Bundesbank, Jens Weidmann, had earnestly cautioned that cryptocurrencies would only aggravate the impacts of financial crises in the future. He argued that if central banks create their own cryptos to reassure users that their currencies are secure, it will increase the risk of having a financial crisis. Old man shakes stick at Bitcoin. That's what it seems like. Of course, these banks don't want cryptocurrency to take over, even if it will help them in some regards. We're going to be removing the middleman. So that was pretty interesting because Morgan Stanley is a huge financial company. So let's look at the big mega trend of 2018, security tokens. We're actually going to be doing a video talking about this more in depth soon, where we're going to talk about the difference between ICOs and STOs. I'm still doing my research on that. I want to really present you guys with a good video because a lot of people think that, just like it says here, the security tokens are going to be absolutely huge in 2018. So here it says the crypto mega trend of 2018. So basically it outlines here that you have your currency coins, which is like Bitcoin or Litecoin. You have your utility tokens, which are your tokens that are built on platforms, which would be your ERC20s or your Net5s. And then you have security tokens. So security tokens are the legally compliant tokenization of anything that has the future expectations of profit. Security tokens allow for the tokenization of real estate, stocks, bonds, assets, companies, and investments that produce dividends. So Polymath is a is right now a token. So what it's trying to do is make it easier for companies to release security tokens. And so I think Polymath is going to be huge. We talked about it in our top 6 undervalued coins in the top 100. And this article just goes to show that even more. Security tokens are the future in crypto, I believe. They're a much safer version of ICOs because of the digitalization of assets. It's not basically pouring money into something that is promising a product that doesn't have anything yet. So you guys be on the lookout for that video we'll be doing, and I suggest you do your own research and look into security tokens. Okay, so news coming out of EOS, CBA, which the CBA is the Commonwealth Bank. Their chief financial officer, Rob Gizadison, has resigned with immediate effect in order to return to Hong Kong and join the firm behind the EOS cryptocurrency. So he's actually going to be joining Block.One. And if you don't know what Block.One is, we talked about it in our EOS review video. Block.One is the company behind EOS. So EOS is like the platform, and Block.One is the company. So Dan Larimer is the CTO of Block.One. So if you're in cryptocurrency, you probably know who Dan Larimer is. If not, you can watch our video and we explain it very well. And this just goes to show that this isn't just news for EOS. This is really news for cryptocurrency in general. We are having top people from banks, from the financial sector, move to cryptocurrency. It's coming. There's no question about it. There was another story that came out. I don't have the link to that article, but talking about how one of the top financial guys came out and said there is no future in traditional finance, that cryptocurrency is the future. And that's why we're seeing all these jumps, and it's really exciting. It's really exciting for EOS. It's one small step for EOS, one giant step for cryptocurrency. So that's the way that I view it. I think that it is really cool that we have so many people jumping ship to crypto. So Dr. King of blockchain project TheKey speaks of IDV, which is identification services for 500 million citizens within 1 year. So this is talking about TheKey. So if you don't know, TheKey is a NEP5 token, which means it's built on the Neo platform. And I think it's very underrated right now. It says here, TheKey is still a very little blockchain project with a pilot project in place and a clear path towards mass commercialization of its identification verification services. The implications of its proprietary BDMI technology are so far-reaching that it is difficult to understand why there is still so little coverage about them. Now, basically what TheKey is trying to do is make it so that through fingerprint, through facial recognition, whatever it may be, that you are able to be identified without having to carry around an ID. And we're just going to see that the further technology goes with cryptocurrency, the way that we're currently doing things is going to look archaic. Carrying around a little card with your name on it. Like, how secure is that really? I know that over time, they've developed ways to make those more secure and harder to be copied, but they can still be copied. So unless you're poking somebody's eyeball out and sticking it in your socket for eye recognition, then you're not going to be able to trick the blockchain. So I think it's really cool that TheKey is trying to do this. I think this is a great and unique project. You should look into it, do your own research. I think that this one could be huge. We love coins and tokens that are doing things that are unique. So ARK. We've talked about ARK a good bit. This article that the link I clicked to get here, it basically says it's comparing ARK to the WordPress of blockchain, if you will. So ARK is trying to integrate blockchains together and make them able to operate within each other. They call that interoperability. So let's scroll down here to this chart, and they're doing this through something called a smart bridge. So in our review on Chainlink, we talked about oracles. We also talked about it regarding the Cubic project, which is part of IOTA. And what an oracle is it's basically a translator. So it translates things between one blockchain and things off of that blockchain. So in ARK, they call those a smart bridge. And it's a very similar concept. As you can see in the chart, it shows how the smart bridges are used to communicate between different blockchains. So I think this is a really cool project. And the same thing that, I guess what the title I was looking at was trying to explain, that the same thing that WordPress did for website coding, where you don't really have to know how to code to be able to use it, that's what ARK is trying to do for blockchain. So it's just going to ease with adoption and use cases, in my opinion. So lastly, let's look at Golem. So Golem had a AMA for April, and part of what came out of that was Golem is going to be having a new roadmap that is going to be debuting. Now, They won't give away exactly what the roadmap will be, obviously, or else why would they release it later? So the main priorities are going to be to finalize Brass, especially to deliver a working consent service, add GPU support in Brass that is not very far away but needs some finalizing, add support for proprietary software on Brass Golem, and create a number of CGI and non-CGI use cases in POC. So basically, Golem is how to share almost a supercomputer on the blockchain and through a decentralized network. So if you needed some extra computing power and you were able to get it yourself, you could be part of this network and pull someone else's computing power. Now, why would someone need to do this? Well, if you were doing CGI that just takes up so much space on a computer, you would want to do that. So they specifically said they want to create a number of CGI and non-CGI use cases. So that is the big one that people go to that takes a lot of computer power, but there's also other things, and I'll be really interested to see what use cases they come up with. But one thing they said in terms of adoption, which is really, really true in my opinion, in the AMA, Golem acknowledged the need for more fiat to Golem solutions, but stated that we're not planning to create an in-house solution. We focus our efforts on creating an awesome product, thus stimulating demand for Golem while leaving the other side of the equation. Two different teams. They want to have more people become interested in Golem, but at the same time, that seems to be the problem that almost every cryptocurrency is facing right now, getting interested in their project. While they're all busy working on actually perfecting their product, what's going to happen if they get their product complete and there's no one to use it? So marketing efforts really need to be stepped up all across cryptocurrency, in my opinion. I was just thinking, why are there not billboards? Why do you not take a billboard out that will cost you a couple $1,000s a month in a major city and at least get more eyes on it that would not normally be looking at your project? At least maybe some kind of like cool marketing trick where you just put the name of the product up there and, like, what is Golem? Or something like that, and get people interested in it so they see it and then go to the website, and maybe some percentage of those people would be interested in it. So that's the news for today. I'm hoping that we're going to see the markets rise by the end of the day, not financial advice. Don't forget to enter our contest, subscribe to our channel, and until next time, that was your Daily Crypto News.